there. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Mind-Boggling the Mind-Boggling Podcast, Episode 4, Religion. And I am here. My name is Nemo, uh, and I am joined by my two co-hosts here, and I will let them introduce themselves.
I'll start off. My name's Brandon, aka Wrong Money. You see me on here usually streaming the cycle. I haven't been doing that recently due to work stuff, but yeah, you'll see me around more than you usually do. Yeah.
And I'm Ryan, or Ryomus is my tag. Yeah, and look forward to our discussion today.
Good. So the reason why we're talking about religion today is at the end of our last episode. If you didn't watch that, go ahead and go and take a look or listen to that one. We kind of trailed off into religious territory, and last episode was about world peace and how we would solve that. Uh, and part of the reason why I thought about it is just because I feel like religion in general is a big blocker to us having any type of world peace. And to achieve that, we would either have to all there are only two options to achieving world peace through if religions are to exist. It would just be either a abolition of religions in general, or everybody's on the same religion. And I don't know what is realistic there. There is a third option where everybody just respects each other's religions, but that's even less likely. That's the reason why I thought religion would be a great one. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this, guys. One, just religion in general, just starting off there, and what your thoughts are. And I'll let Brandon take the floor on just talking about religion there.
All right. So I respect
Wait,
those.
actually, wait. I'm sorry, Brandon. Brandon, are either one of you guys religious?
I'm not super
Let's.
religious, but
Okay.
I respect all of them because I don't think it's good to say there's a right religion because that would you know what I mean? Like it'd be like it's
Mhm.
like who's the right one to go to, right? But that doesn't exist. Like one religion is wrong, and then it's like you know what I'm saying? Like, but that
Yep.
guy says this. No, but mine
Yep.
says that. Well, you're dumb, right? So those conversations like that, we don't have those. But why do we have multiple ones? And I think the big reason why is I think it's based off of geography and like a good degree of scholars and people who've witnessed miracles and stuff like that in their own field or have their own explanations to natural events, but my thing is the Sumerian religion, which I think is like the most the legit one and the oldest one that I know. But that's what I gotta say about that. Yeah.
For myself, I believe in God. Um, I'm mostly I would mostly fall under the Christian category though, but I find that Deism is probably the closest thing to how I believe things are. Um, and for anyone who doesn't know what Deism is, it's the belief that there is a supreme being. They just don't like intervene or interact with our world or universe.
Yeah, like the influence, right? There's no like intervention anymore, right?
Yeah, I just believe that like something created the universe, but I'm not like beyond that. I'm very skeptical. Um,
I
but
agree.
yeah,
I agree with Ryan on that.
I think that there is some forms of intervention and some forms of like touch on the world. So I mean, especially as a person who believes in a lot of science, it's just hard to explain that part of my brain because I'm in the same boat where it's not just like a one religion. I definitely lean towards Christianity just because we all grew up in Texas, so it's kind of hard to not lean towards Christianity or Catholicism in some form or way.
I was actually baptized.
I was as well.
So
I think I
Yeah.
was. I think I was pretty sure because my sister keeps saying, "Hey, you were baptized," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" I keep forgetting about that. So my sister keeps bringing it up because she wasn't, and then it's like, you know, some. Oh, but yeah, like you said, Christianity is the one that's like makes sense to us, you know. I think I
yeah.
would say that
Yeah.
because it's a like it's also our native language that's told to us, but also it's the one that has like the amount of stories that are like logical and having like
Man,
consequences.
look,
It's not complete. I'm like the second half sure, but the first one I don't know about that.
dude,
The second half is like more, but it's tough.
no religion at all has anything logical to it. None of them do. Absolutely none of them. They all have like major logical fallacies in there that just make no sense.
What I can't believe, like, and this is one of the things over time that I've kind of like just not understood is like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Think it's Islam or is it? Yeah, it's Islam. They're kind of like a progression in a way. They kind of like have like the same general things going on in their text. They just have like in Judaism they believe that their savior hasn't come, whereas in Christianity they believe their savior has come. And then in Islam, I believe Muhammad's like the final prophet, if I remember correctly. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. But like they have so much similarities, I'm surprised how much hostility there are between them.
Dude, that's something I just don't understand either. I there's like they both teach like for the most part, every religion has a core base of beliefs that all stem to be a good person at the end of the day, and yet somehow they all produce assholes. Like it doesn't make any sense to me how that happens. You always get like major assholes from all of these religions that preach about love and kindness
And then
and don't
violence.
talk. Yeah, I mean, and then there's always just like the ones that focus on the violent sections that are like, no, we have to produce violence to do so. It's so weird to me.
I know that.
One of
I
the
know.
things I don't get is they like want to wipe each other out because they have the smallest differences. Like even within Islam, there's like the Shiites and the what's the other one? Hittites, I want to say
Those are the ones
the
that are.
the the, fa- the factions between within Islam.
Those are the ones that I think that's the like eternal battle that's happening right now to not let one of the religions go to the Holy Land
Oh,
because
the Sunnis and the Shia, I believe. Um,
if they claim that land, it brings the apocalypse. It's one of those things that happen. That's one of the biggest things that I know about the still occurring war and battles is that if they allow this one culture or religion to step onto that certain piece of land, it will bring forth the apocalypse, is what it said for one of the religions.
hmm,
That's what it is for that. It's ridiculous, man. But no, like
yeah.
I think respecting it's like respect and then having people not like say that they're wrong. I don't know. In the end, they're all connected to faith. You gotta have faith
Yeah.
in the afterlife, which holds consequences due to your actions that you've done on Earth. You know.
Yeah, but I guess like to go off of what you said, the consequences thing. Like I kind of find it hard to believe that if I guess I believe there is a God. So the God that is there, I assume would be omni. Was it omni?
Present, omnipresent.
Yeah, present. Yeah, where he can literally see like everything and understand everything. and I would find him hard to not have some sort of compassion towards us who are like not able to see and understand everything.
But that's part of the reason why I think that there are light touches from whatever God it is. That's why I think that there have been touches to whatever I said he by accident, whatever they're doing. Like, I feel like they do have compassion, they do understand, and they definitely like are making small changes here and there, but we just may not realize it. I think whenever I think about what God is, I always think about the future. I don't know if you guys remember Futurama, but the episode where Bender is stuck in space and he essentially meets God, and God tells him, when you do something right, a lot of people won't realize you've done anything at all.
Yep.
But you've done the right thing. And so that's the way I feel like. And the thing is, even when I was younger, I was like, huh. Like when something is just like, when things are just going well, nobody really thinks about that. You're just kind of like going about your day and just going well. And it's just, he's, God is probably just doing things right, and nobody's really noticed those things that are going really well. And it's just, we're just going about our day.
I the omnipresent thing is like, it's tough because like it's this whole thing about free will and everything, and then the Bible and all the other things is like, it's about karma. It says stuff like, you gotta do the right thing or else in the afterlife you're gonna, get blasted or be in their shoes of the people you've harmed, kind of like that. And then I don't know if I'm gonna go on a tangent on this. I doubt I will, but the thing is, if we had Homeboy floating above us, like in the clouds, and he's like, "Who did this?" and then he puts him up in the sky, and then like obliterates him like Dr. Manhattan, then like, you know what I'm saying? like it'd be I don't know if it'd be fear, but it'd be wild though, huh?
If he was just like a man in the cloud just scooping us up and stuff, that'd be super wild. I think that's basically a police state.
Would it be peace? Do you think there'd be
No,
peace?
well, it definitely would there. It was, I don't know if that's peace or not though. Like that's kind of terrifying. Like, is he just smiting people in your type of world? In your theory, is he
If
just
like
he's legit?
if God was like, I'm cool with what he's doing right now, being wherever he is, he left us, had free will and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I could do something real messed up if I wanted to, but I have ethics and kindness and compassion and not been done wrong, you know, unless I've deserved that wrong karma, you know what I'm saying? As long as karma, the reason why I've been wrong, then sure. But I control my environment to a degree, and I acknowledge like what I put myself into. But yeah, if there was like, if God was like right there in the clouds, and it's like, okay, who just did that, right? Or he's like, I saw what you did, pull him up. Everybody puts him on the stream or on the news. This guy just did this horrendous act that's gonna like scar this child, like take the childhood away from this kid, right? Put him on blast, boom. And then everybody sees it like, well, I'm not gonna even attempt to do anything related to that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that would be like a legit.
That would also be a police state. Legit, that's just like that's no different than like how in China there's cameras everywhere, and if
Yeah.
you do like something weird but maybe not illegal, they drag you off into the middle of the night or or arrest you and some shit. That's essentially what that would feel like that, and that would be terrifying and awful.
But that put people in check though. That'd
It would
be
put people in check. It would put people in check for a while, but then what if like I don't know. What if this God or this version of God that you've presented is just a dick, and then he's smiting people for wearing clothes he doesn't like or some shit, dude?
nah, he
That's what
wouldn't.
I was saying
But
with the omnipresent thing. Like, I would assume he would understand like minute things. Like, I would think clothing or whatever like would be like so below him.
Mm-hmm.
even care about.
It's like a guy in charge of a fish tank, and then it's like he sees the fish that's doing damage, he just gets him out, just takes him out. But the fish would, I don't know if the fish would have to. I think the fish would want to see it, but would the fish not want to see it? I don't know. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
It's like we're in a fish tank and the dude ain't there taking care of us, bro.
Oh, got you. All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
yeah, it's like,
okay. I mean, the fish, fish still see us though. Like that's the thing. Although like and fish still know that if you feed your fish at the same time every single day, they start when you miss a day or something, they start freaking out just like everybody else. So just like other people freak out when they miss their buses that's usually on time or something. So like even then, that's how I feel if we're using that fish tank analogy, and yeah, the fish do see you, so they may not like identify you as God or whatever. They may think of you as some Eldritch monster that gives them food,
so.
but still,
So I want to ask this to y'all: do you think religion is a form of preventative measures?
yes.
Preventative measures to what?
I think he's saying basically, without religion, some people would be doing really really crazy stuff, and I actually agree. Like
Oh,
some
for
people,
sure.
yeah, some people without religion, I feel like there would be mass murderers running around like crazy, and the
Well, I mean,
only
have you
thing,
heard what the Duck Dynasty father said?
no, I don't watch Duck Dynasty.
Educate us, boy.
No, he did like an interview, and this is why he's not even on the show anymore.
Educate
I couldn't
us.
believe he said it. He basically went on and I guess I'll try to keep it short. He gave a scenario where a bunch of atheists broke into a house or whatever of someone who was religious and like tortured him and made him like um watch them like violate the mother and his daughter. That was like basically what he did. And so like his whole scenario is atheist people have no moral. And it's like, so you only believe or you only like are good. Like when I heard this is what came into my head. You're only good because you think that if you're not, you're gonna go to hell afterwards.
I think
It was just, yeah.
I think weak people would do that. You know. That's why
Yeah,
they're.
of course. That's
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 why
the
they're in.
thing.
That's why they're in a group doing that.
Hmm. And you're right. Only weak people would. People who say, "Oh, only religion is the reason why people don't do bad things," they're 100% wrong. But I do feel like religion holds a lot of bad people to a standard they didn't realize they should be having with themselves. And that's something I think religion does very well. Like it gives people like maybe an unrealistic standard at times, but it gives people a standard that they try and uphold themselves to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely would never want religion removed from the world completely in that sense, just because
The good
some
it
people
does.
actually really need it. Yeah, some people really do need it. Some people, and the fact does do you guys like meditate or anything like that?
To a degree. What do you mean?
I've tried to
Like
meditate.
To a degree.
like something so like something that's really common for a lot of people, especially when I think about religion, is that um I can't ever be mad about religion because it brings a lot of people peace, even for the ones I don't agree with, right? It's just the fact that it brings people peace. Like some people, they need to pray whenever they're scared. They pray whenever they're happy. They give thanks to God, and and like it helps them with their anxiety and their day to day life. Like so, for me, I I kind of I don't know. I kind of have conversations with God, but I wouldn't say it's like praying. It's more so like a conversation like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck is going on here?" Whenever I think something weird is going on in my life, but also like just meditating to bring myself inner peace in some way, so that way I can feel centered into the world, you know.
I
And that's what I think like prayer and religion really does help in doing.
I
Have you ever
see.
felt like God tried to communicate with you?
If he has, I've probably been too dumb to realize it.
So I'll tell you a story that actually happened to me like right before the pandemic. I was helping this girl with like coding and the Python, and she talked to me like about religion a little bit, and she's like, "Have you ever like tried to talk to God or whatever?" And I was like, "No." So it kind of got me wondering, and so I started thinking like I did this for like a couple of days. Where I was like, God, if you're out there, like I had these thoughts like, you know, show me something like, something like that or whatever.
Oh
And
shit.
so like
Oh
one
shit.
night after I like got out of classes, I was like on the train or whatever. This guy like sits like across from me, like he just like starts talking to me or whatever. And the thing is like this is like when I was doing that, like it was having these thoughts or whatever, like trying to think to like God or whatever. And it's kind of like so weird, but the guy was like, "Yeah, God like made my life so wonderful or whatever." He's like, "Yeah, like he's helped me put this company together." And it was like the name of the company was like what really fucked me up. It was like "fuck you" company or something. It was like awesome, but it was so weird that this guy just started talking to me about God after I'd like started doing this for like a couple of days or whatever, and like maybe a week or something of thinking, "Oh, if there's a God, like show me something." And all of a sudden, this guy just sits down and talks to me for no reason.
But what if it was the devil imitating God, and then you just kept following that path? What if
I, I don't know,
straight
man.
up,
The
straight up,
But it
devil
was
no, but
it was
straight
like a
up.
weird thing though. It's like a weird coincidence.
No, it's
Oh
true,
man.
but in the Bible, the devil like approaches you more than he would.
Yeah,
It's not that he doesn't have time. It's just that it's his reach is. It's not about his reach. It's just about his influence. Because we're supposed to. One of the religious guys out there, big dude, big religious guy. He said we were given the freedoms. We're better than angels. Not like, oh, we got superpowers. No, we're better because we were gifted free will. We weren't told what to do, and we have the ability to judge and decide what's the right thing to do.
yeah.
That was something that I was like, yeah, but like someone doing abusing that power of doing whatever they want doesn't mean that they're better. It's just that you're allowed to do something. I
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's like, we look at like say like, an anthill or whatever and watch these ants like do stuff and like does it like makes very little sense. But to them it makes perfect sense and they're very organized or whatever. And we can see the organization, but we don't really understand, like what compels them to do stuff like this. And I
Yes, we do.
assume, well, I mean, through science, but if you're just like looking down on them,
that
you
means
don't really understand it unless you actually go research it. And I would assume like God would look down on us and be like, "Oh, they're doing whatever," and like I just don't know like at what point he would choose to intervene because we're so minuscule in this like grand universe,
I
and like even if like we're assuming, and this is under the assumption that we're the only or like the only species or only like intelligent species alive in the
Uh,
whole universe.
I really hope that we aren't.
same same
Like
here,
what,
I
8
really
billion
hope
of us
that we
too. Like
bro. That across the galaxies, there's an esports team trying to pop up and represent. Wouldn't that be wild?
but they be playing something we don't even know of.
They said
man.
you got 10 years to get this game together. You gotta. No, but legit, like the whole ant thing. The whole ant thing. It's like I don't know. It's like everything's got a purpose to a degree.
But I guess a
At the
god
moment,
would like be fully researched on like everything about us. So it's like because he's omnipotent, right, or omnipresent.
omnipotent.
I don't like. There's like different levels to this, isn't there? Like, there's one where you know everything, and then where like you can see every possibility or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And I forget the names of them all. Um, and then there's like,
Omnipresent, omnipotent, yeah, stuff like
and
that.
across all of like the universes or like the multiverse, and then across all of time and all that stuff. Um,
I mean, it's really one. My brain is stuck after Brandon mentioned the devil. It's stuck on if religion if religion exists and we do believe in God. All of us have claimed to believe in God. Do you guys also believe in the devil? That's where my mind is stuck on. So I didn't want to derail you guys' thought process before jumping into that
Oh no, we,
conversation.
we could go straight to what you took. What you no, we could go to what you
that's
took out of the
actually
devil before you lose the train that we got to that point.
a
Yeah.
good transition, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm
So
actually just
yeah.
wondering that too. Like, what is like to me, it's like what is good and evil? Like, how would like a omnipresent
There has to be. Okay, so when people
view it?
say what is good and evil, there are things that are objectively evil though, right? Like killing somebody is objectively evil, right? Can we is that not even when it's an accident, it's still objectively
What if
evil to
it's
kill
self-defense?
somebody, right?
What if they were gonna kill you?
But that means like that person who was trying to kill you, that means that they were doing something objectively evil still. That means that there was still some form of objective evilness there.
I think
Well,
it's the damage. It's the amount of damage. Like if you make someone cry, right, right, or if there's you're preventing someone from being harmed, reducing the damage, that would, I guess, justify slaying somebody potentially. I don't know, but it's like if it's your last resort is to do that, I understand. Like that dude's hooked up on some kind of narcotic that makes him like unstoppable, you know? Like you've seen the news, right? Like all those
Mhm.
the bath salt people.
Yeah,
people that those
Like
people that the stun guns don't stop.
yeah, those people,
yeah.
yeah. And like that I think that's like the logical and justifying reasons to resort to death, you know? But like evil, some things that end up being evil don't come from the root of evil sometimes, you know? Like that's my thing. It's just to the degree that which they get exploited, unless the motive of something kindness was inherently evil, you know? You know, it's some weird shit, bro. But due to history and all the things that we've seen unfold, you know, we know what to do and what not to do. But a lot of things do still repeat themselves somehow.
Here's like a let's say a thing like a person attacks another person,
All right.
and the person who's getting attacked kills the person who is attacking them. Now, the person who was attacking them was like their mind was messed up because they're like dehydrated or whatever,
Okay.
and they were like hallucinating that this person in front of them was about to hurt them. Are either of these people bad people, or would?
It's perspective. It's about
But
perspective
but see,
and
God would see all of this, is what I'm trying to say.
it's about perspective and compassion. Like that's what it would have to come down to. Like like and then at the same time you're worried about your own life, you know? What if you have obligations, like you're going to make your wife a widow, you know? Like it's
Yeah, but is the person who's like hallucinating from dehydration, are they a bad person for attacking this person? Like they're hallucinating that like something dangerous was in front of them or whatever.
let's say a dude gets rabies a city across from getting bit, but he brushes it off. and then he goes to another city, right? And then he stumbles upon a person that is gonna be the victim to this person, right? It's all about the mental state at the time, you know. It's like you have no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're if the thing you would do to normally incapacitate somebody does not work, then that's it, bro. You get
So
me?
does that mean like this? Okay, so bringing it back to like the devil, then, um, would that mean like, for example, in your situation, in the self defense situation, let me kind of take it a little bit further back. Then, would the person who's initiating the attack, we would consider that person evil then, right? Like, I think that that's something that we, with the person who's initiating the attack and not the self defense person, that
I
person
think
is evil.
at the surface level, I think, yeah, a lot of people would say, yeah, the person initiating the attack is evil for
Okay,
trying to attack someone.
and then how how much of that would you say is just the cause of, or what of that would you say is from the devil then? Like that's also something I always try and I'm trying to wrap my head around right now, I guess.
Well,
How
in
much
my,
evil is from the devil and not just like a man-made evil instead?
I personally find it very hard to believe that there is a devil.
You
Potentially,
think it's hard to believe that there's a devil?
Yes.
potentially free will might be it to a degree. Because like you're battling temptation on average, you know. Like you know, temptation and free will come hand in hand. I think it's some shit, bro.
Wait.
Uh,
Okay, so
See, I think there's evil, but I find it hard to believe that God would allow a devil to exist.
I don't know.
you think he would just snap his fingers and then
Yeah. Like, even if it's an angel or whatever, like, I still think, like, God would be, like, being the creator of literally everything, including angels, I would think he could just, yeah, like, snap his fingers
But
and
but
Thanos, like, all the fucking
but
angels that, like, want to come up against him.
but Ryan
Like,
Ryan
I want to see
here's
that movie. God, Thanos
Ryan,
snapping every angel out of existence.
hey Ryan, but here's the thing. Here's the thing though. God don't make no mistakes. Him
so you were
deleting
saying
him,
he would
him deleting him,
intentionally have a
no.
devil in his
If he
universe?
deleted him, that means he made a mistake. And supposedly God don't make mistakes, bro.
But then also, like, couldn't the argument be made that he would never allow or like, because he makes no mistakes, he would make angels that would never go against him? Like, wouldn't the fact that there is a Satan or devil be that he made a mistake because one of the angels, like, left heaven and he had to
Does-
banish them?
I think he was.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I think he was theory crafting, is what happened.
Like, oh, no, that's
He's like goodness theory crafty.
damn.
That's where the dinosaurs came from. He said, "Nah, fuck that," and he flung that big ass rock at it, and now here
That
we
made me,
are.
that made me laugh way more than it should have. But but the idea of the devil is that he intentionally made him, though. That's the thing. Like he intentionally made the devil to test the man. I guess
Yeah, I think so.
that's the idea of the devil.
Then isn't
And
that
like
even worse? Like, then doesn't that make God objectively evil by, like, intentionally, like, testing us?
I think I think it's good and bad. Like
Because he should
because
already know the results, anyways, right?
yeah,
not, but it's to make. I think it's also a way to make us stronger. to a degree. Because what if we never had that and we wouldn't have righteous acts being done? Like, doing something the right. You don't need. Why do you need to do something right if there's never gonna be something wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be playing like a life on easy mode, I guess.
Things are just
You
And
wouldn't even
too
live.
chaotic.
yeah, you wouldn't even live. You wouldn't really be living. You'd just be existing, and that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, God doesn't change his mind. He doesn't make mistakes. He's supposed to be omnipresent, all knowing. I'm pretty sure he knows everything that the devil is planning and everything the devil will plan and throw at him, and he just kind of lets it happen if it serves his purpose or his bidding in some way, which kind of sucks for us.
I mean, maybe God's just like non-biased and like just hanging out watching.
Exactly.
We're just Netflix to him for free. That'd be some shit. But I think a lot of people back then made a foundation for their families, and utilized the free will, and made like powerhouses of like family names. You know what I'm saying? Like kings and saints and all that. You know what I'm saying, Nemo?
Yeah.
Like that whole. I don't know if they're already everywhere. The Rothschilds people that control the money being printed and shit.
Yeah. I kind of know what you're saying.
Like those people have like everybody by the balls. Like that's some right there. And then we need to see the movie called Timeless or something like that. The one with what's his name? The dude from NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, Justin Timberlake, whatever.
The one where people have to share time to.
Yeah, exactly. That's the movie we gotta see. Because it's the message at the end. I think that'd be good for us to look at and listen to.
The wild.
You've seen
It's
that
about
movie?
people having. Yeah, it's people that are given. There's immortality in the world, and if you're a rich person, you can live forever, and if you're a poor person, you basically live off of
Yeah,
minutes.
I say it's wild, like, to think that you could just like transfer lifespans between people like currency.
Hmm.
And your experience is based off of how much time you got. And like in making and what's it called? Fluctuating the price of things is like very powerful. Whoever's in control of that money is like wild. Because people are being printed out like nothing these days. You know what I'm saying?
People are being printed out. People are money now.
Like but like resources. Like where are we gonna get a house for everybody who's living in apartments?
I mean, not everybody's gonna get a house, though, dude. That's the thing. Not everybody needs a house either.
That's
I
true.
think the idea that everybody needs a house is crazy. Everybody needs shelter, but it doesn't have to be a house.
You think the Elon Musk houses will be the way?
I don't know what the Elon Musk houses are.
Really?
He pisses me off. So,
If everyone doesn't have a house, it's not equal though. We're not equal.
if no, that's not true. That's not how that works. If everybody has shelter that provides water, electricity, and everybody has a roof over their head, and I think internet should be thrown in there. I feel like at this point, internet is a utility.
You think
So
internet should
as
be
long as
free?
people have not necessarily maybe, but like it's a
You know,
utility, just like how water and electricity are utilities that we need.
I think internet with no lag should be free, but uploads and downloads should cost money.
well, the
No,
UN did declare internet as like a right,
Because
it is.
if
which I
It should be.
don't know what that exactly means, but
if if upload and downloads weren't free, then people would mine Bitcoin. But Bitcoin mining is like takes energy cost, and whereas
Guys,
that is free.
I want to let you know that we started off on religion and we're now talking about Bitcoin mining and the Elon Musk housing. So I'm gonna bring us back here
The devil,
into
Alright,
the
this
devil. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
into the.
I oh, I got something though. Like if we're done with like evil or devil stuff, that
Okay, I'm all here for it.
all right. So I don't know a whole lot about the subject, but I find it very interesting. So there is a book called "The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross,"
Okay.
and supposedly, from what I've heard, they were reading over some like old books in the Vatican or something, and they brought in a bunch of researchers from the Vatican, but they also brought in one person from outside. And I believe this is what the book is based on. And from the person who was an outsider, like the text talked about like spiking wine and stuff with like psychedelics. And the person who was an outsider basically was like saying that they came up with Christianity off of psychedelic and off of like shrooms and their experiences.
I could talk about it unless you want to go first, Nemo, about what I
Nah, nah,
know.
go ahead.
All right, so even I believe you. I believe it, Ryan, because also in assassin history they had what's it called, experiences like that made people be like, you want to experience this again? You got to do this job. And they would bring good food and even like pretty women that they like have hidden or something, like all that stuff. And even the psychedelic experience makes the woman look attractive, right? Like that's what they say about alcohol. I'm not gonna bash the women that look good when they that's why I don't drink. to do it to myself. But anyways, the thing is like like the OG Assassin's times were also around the times when religion was going up, and psychedelic experiences were like a correlation to like seeing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Seeing miracles and all that. So I believe
Well, I
psychedelics were used back then.
I guess part of why I find it so interesting is because I know like the Native American culture has like ayahuasca that they use to get like experiences. They're like religious experiences. So I could definitely see a connection to that. Um, but
That's interesting.
I've never done a psychedelic, so I have no clue because of that too.
Psychedelic stream, let's
Uh,
go. No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
all right.
Nah,
I
nah.
guess since we are now, I guess since this is, I, I don't know if we're ever gonna release this out into the world or not, but yes, I've done psychedelics before,
I could cut
and
it out if anything, but I mean,
Well,
nah,
you
keep it in, keep it
all
in.
right, cool. What's up?
But yeah, I've done psychedelics before. I didn't feel closer or a godly presence when I went through my trip with mushrooms. Like I didn't feel like, oh yeah, God is everywhere, man, and I can feel His presence in everything, man. I didn't feel that at all. So I don't know. Like everybody's experience with this is really, really different. So I can't speak to what anybody else has really felt when they did it. But like for me, psychedelics don't necessarily equate to seeing and feeling God as much.
Yeah, I have no experience on the psychedelic experience myself. I didn't have any of that.
I mean, everyone's experience is gonna definitely be different too. But I don't know. Like from what I've heard, if you try to force it, like it kind of just work. Like doesn't do anything for you. I think you just have to
Exactly.
like accept it and just like not have too much of high hopes or whatever.
But you telling me religious leaders brought in a non-biased person
That's what I heard. I don't
And had a
know
in his
too much.
perspective of like ancient texts of the people's experience, or that they were on some kind of psychedelic, or was the visualization of the text what a person would see if
The
they were on
worst part
something
is,
else?
I can see this being how religions actually started. It's just like, yo, Jebediah, yo, Jebediah, you want to come over and just take some shrooms? And then, the guy just comes through.
Hey,
And then they're just sitting at a table talking about just shooting the shit. Look, there's so many assholes around here. How do we keep the people in check? How do we control them? And no, let's just say it's a sky thing. Let's just say it's a sky thing, guys. That's it. That's the answer. They'll believe us. These people are idiots. They'll believe us, and that's what it is. That's how we do it. And then they just walk out and they tell everybody that, and it works. That's
Jesus.
imagine fucking happen.
You
It sounds realistic.
But do you think that person that was saying that stuff would have to be in a degree of power, like influence like that, you know?
Yeah, of course they're in a position of power and they benefit from it in some way, but like
Damn.
it doesn't change the fact that that's how I see it. It feels like it could be realistic.
That's crazy, man. I have a question. But yeah, that's pretty interesting about the whole drugs and psychedelic thing.
I mean, it kind of goes back to like the similarities, as I mentioned before, like between these things. Is if people were getting like similar trips or whatever and creating these religions, maybe that's where it kind of came from.
Cause like
I don't know.
I think the thing is that it a part of it, a big part of it comes from within ourselves. You know,
Yeah,
we have the choice to do something good or wrong, or something bad, and there's things that reinforce it, and there's things that justify it doing the good thing. But some people, they keep doing bad because they might get something good out of it. You know,
yeah. Well,
it's
I guess Nemo, with your experience, did you? So I've heard like you lose like your sense of ego or your feeling of like self, and you feel like you're more one with everything. I don't know if that's.
That's not what happened to me, man. I was tripping out like colors were different, numbers made sounds. It wasn't to that level where like I lost my self of ego and felt one with nature and the world or anything like that. It wasn't that deep for me.
Okay.
next time look for it.
I
Next
don't know if
time
there'll
be
be a
like,
next time like that, but sure,
okay,
I'll
good,
definitely
good.
keep it in mind.
If someone's
Well, I
like,
mean,
hey, I
they
got some of this, and be like, all right, religion this time.
well psychedelics are legal in Oregon, so you know.
Heck no.
And
But
you're right, they are.
all right, I have a question. About religion. Y'all guys, you ready? You ready for this?
Go.
I'm as ready as I can be.
All right, you good? What do you think? What do you think? Like, made people go through with the Crusades, and how strong do you think religion was back then that made armies go behind it and all that stuff? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
The Crusade,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's talking about like,
like the Knights Templar.
Yeah, all that.
yeah, religion, dude. Like, I mean, religious fanatics. I mean, look what people do for religion today. People are nutty about their religion and what they believe. Like,
I
people
mean,
will go to the ends of the earth to make sure that their religion is proven right and correct.
well, from what I understand, the Knights Templar were just like trying to find relics that were like in biblical text, and they're probably doing it more for the money and fame, I would assume, than anything. Than probably maybe like the belief that there's some sort of mystic power to these items, like the Holy Grail and stuff.
You think like obtaining land and resources might have been the thing driving it?
No, from what I understand, they were like going and doing like archaeological digs, kind of, and trying to like steal artifacts from like Israel, right,
Huh?
or something like that,
Yeah.
and bring them back to the church.
Hmm.
So I don't know
So,
if they're
so
necessarily doing it for religion, as my point.
I mean, if they're bringing it back to the church, that means they're doing it for that religion, right? Like that's what that would mean, or that's
Yeah,
how I'm interpreting it.
but the church was giving them status and like money and like all like this like stuff was heavily funded.
By the church.
Yeah,
So then that they were still doing it for the name of religion, right? Wouldn't that be essentially what that is?
I mean, yeah, I guess, but who's to say that people weren't just doing it for like the money? Because like eventually the church did turn on them,
So
and like
here's
I don't know, that's like something I kind of know a little bit about, but not a lot because there's like it's hard to verify a lot of this stuff.
so let me tell you the timeline on how long this thing lasted. So the timeline of the crusade lasted from 1189 AD to 1244 AD. So it was from Third Crusade, then Richard the Lionheart Crusade, Fourth Crusade, Fifth Crusade, and then there was the Jerusalem when Jerusalem lost. Jerusalem lost. So what was Jerusalem fighting for then? What was their thing?
That was like the holy site, I believe.
I'm pretty sure Jerusalem was fighting over the land and their holy. And yeah, Ryan's right about the Jerusalem one. I'm pretty sure that that's what they were fighting for.
They were fighting for the Holy Land?
Yeah, what they consider
Yeah,
to be their holy land.
Damn.
but I've heard they've like taken a lot of like artifacts. Like they believe the Ark of the Covenant was like possessed. That they got the Holy Grail, and they believe some of these things. Maybe what's like at Oak Island, if you like, but they don't know for sure. But they think that like they got something because all of a sudden the church was like threatening them, and they were like holding like it against them or something. Like that's stuff that I'm not too sure that you can verify. Like what church the church like why the church eventually turned on them. But I know like the church gave them like completely unprecedented access, to, like all kinds of stuff. And the Knights Templar, I believe, even were like the first bankers to like exist, if I remember right. Like like they would loan people money and stuff, type thing.
Dude, even the Egyptians got involved, bro. After Jerusalem fell, the Egyptians were gonna fight for it. That's wild.
And I mean, they're still fighting for it today. Like,
Do you?
that's why there's like always conflicts in the Middle East.
Jeez, man, that's a lot. But yeah, man, like the power of religion is like pretty strong to that degree, you know. Bloodshed, property, land ownership, you know, fighting for it, justifying the taking of it. Like, it's just a lot of stuff.
I mean, mostly that's where like a lot of the events happened for the religious texts, like the Quran and uh, the Bible, and I don't remember what it's called um for Judaism, but all of like their history happened in that area,
I'm
and
gonna let
that's yeah.
yeah, you good, man. I'm gonna
Uh,
let you
but
know.
that's why they were trying to find the artifacts and stuff,
I'm gonna let y'all know we're at the 54-minute mark.
right?
Oh snap!
Yeah. So yeah, any you think it's time for concluding, or do you think I had a question if you guys would like to hear it, but and what would you
Yeah,
guys
go
think?
ahead.
Do you think we will get some form of divine intervention once we reach like a human conflict or something? Like something within ourselves or like something that like confuses us that is man-made. Do you think we'll get some kind of divine even if we don't have any of that? Do you think we might get some kind of divine intervention?
I think at
Depends
some
on
point, yes.
your beliefs, I guess.
Nah, bruh.
I think we're
Oh,
waiting for the four horsemen and the Antichrist to show up, and that's when,
yeah, but that's not every
if you believe
religion.
in Christianity, that's when everyone's gonna be like sent to the heaven who's like worthy, and then if not, you're left like to be a part of the battle, essentially.
Hmm. There is something I wanted to talk about that y'all guys might not know that much about, and it's about the Sumerian religion. Do you guys know about that?
No.
I actually know very little about that one.
So the Sumerians are like one of the oldest registered like texts that was engraved in stone, Nemo. And the thing is that they talk about how there was this planet, right? This planet-sized comet that passed by Earth and influenced an organism on Earth, or they created it from scratch, something that like mimicked or imitated itself's image, right? Like you know how they say like God made us in His image, right? Well, they said that these people made two or more copies that weren't what they initially wanted to do the first time, and it was a giant. It was their same. It was like a same replica of themselves, but they didn't want that because it would burn through resources too fast. So they try to make miniature versions of themselves. Then they did it again. I'm doing the order. I might be mixing up the order of the ones that they didn't want to make first, and then I'm gonna tell you the final product, which is us, which is what we are. So, anyways, the second out of the how many mistakes that they've made is that they had like an ogre looking person with two heads, and it was like always violent. And oh yeah, and by the way, the like basically replica of themselves died fast because of how big it was. Like its protein allocation wasn't right, you know. So then the third one was what we are, right? The third or the last one is what we are, and it's humans, right? So the thing is, they had us like build stuff around them. They're like, yeah, we want you to do this, and we're not indentured slaves or nothing. They just said we want you to build this. Here's your purpose. We made you. If you want to do something, you do this. You make the architecture. You know, we show you how to make it. Show you how to use the machines, and you're gonna do this and that. And they've made like it's like a hybrid between Egypt and how the Aztec like pyramids look. You know, and they had resources laid out, agriculture laid out, in the cities. They were like, if you want to come to our palace, you can. You could vibe with us, you know, chill if you want. And then later they left, and then within the text they said that population control was a big problem, and that happened. This and they emphasized on that like way back in the original text of the Sumerian religion and all that. And that's why I say that's the OG, you know, because like I'm like it's the oldest written one, the one that's written down, you know. And then after all of the natural disasters that did a lot of damage, and a lot of religions have different ones, like I think it all spread out from there. You know what I'm saying? Because Pangea was a thing, you know, one continent. But that's what my generalization of the Sumerian religion is. And it is a form of divine intervention. Not saying it is the God, but it is the higher life form that caused us to exist. You know what I'm saying? Did
I
my
guess I kind of do.
But yeah, man, I just
Uh,
wanted to let y'all know about that Sumerian stuff, and I think it's legit. But
Is that also the one that was like they like describe things as like what we would consider modern day spaceships and stuff? Or like the descriptions were similar to that?
You mean that like their depictions of what they had in their hand, like stuff like the technology that they had?
No, like they just like in the text they describe technology that from like what they were like saying were gods or something. Or I don't know, like maybe I'm thinking of some of the texts from India or something.
No,
Because I
yeah,
remember in India they were talking about and describing like things, and people were like compare them to like space to like a rocket taking off or whatever, because like they say like the ground rumbled and like smoke emerged from under it as it went upwards or something like that.
the thing is about that is, I don't. There is. I know what you're talking about, but I don't recall the Sumerians having like they only have text inscribed in stone about the Sumerians. There's no glyphs about them, unless I'm wrong and they do have glyphs about them. But there is cultures that have like technology on the pyroglyphs. Is that the name? Is that the name? That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
pyroglyphs.
the
Yeah, yeah.
hieroglyphs.
Pyroglyphs.
Hi,
Thank you.
hieroglyphs.
That they have it inscribed. They had airplanes. They had stuff. They had. They there's this one. There's this one thread. One social media account that keeps bringing up this like purse looking thing that astronauts carried. That also the gods were carrying in Egypt. You know, in their hands and all that. Like they had a they don't they should have had it translated for us for what that thing in their hands was, because they were carrying purses looking thing. They had
Yeah.
purse looking objects in their hand that had technology in it. But the
Well,
big
that's another
thing,
thing. Is like because all these religions and like people across the globe, while they're like somewhat similar but kind of different, like they have like similar images. Like they have things that look like planes, and they have like people that look like they're wearing masks in some of their depictions and stuff. And it's like, why is it like so similar? And we don't believe these people had like any connection.
I I think I think the biggest thing that connects all of them is frequencies. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like they had a tomb, supposedly a tomb, where if you were in that tomb, there was a frequency that would kill cancer cells. They would have bells or something that would bounce the frequency and the sound within the room and kill the cancer cells in a special part of a mountain. In Mexico, in the Aztec arenas, and even the what's it called, the pyramids in Mexico, the Aztec ones, you can clap and make amplify the sound based on your position on it, and then there would be a spot where the emperor would be for the Aztec Coliseum or arena, where if he's standing there, the sound would go around the whole thing like a bowl. Like the sound would
yeah.
get trapped inside of like the bowl shaped thing, and everybody could hear him like he's right next to them, because
I
of
mean,
how the sound would escape or not be allowed to escape as easily.
to some of that stuff, like I find it more of maybe they were doing it just like to seem magical. Just like there were certain people that figured out there were like certain things you could do and would like become like illusions, and people be like, oh my goodness, like because people, well, they didn't understand like physics and chemistry and stuff, they would figure certain things out, and they would like realize, oh, I can make money, or I can, you know, get power, or like not powers, but like status by showing this stuff off.
If if you were like, I bet that if you're rich and all that and like very powerful, and you had technology or material that did react to frequency, and you hoard it for yourself and made yourself look like powerful or supernatural, then like that's a possibility. Like I believe in that. Like we see all these spaceship videos or even that what's it called? Those anomalies. I don't know if it was in California or Florida, that one spaceship or APO, UAP, and you don't see any like jet like emissions, you know. It's some weird stuff, man. All I know is frequency is a thing that's common amongst almost all religions. Like almost every religion has a bell, you know. You know what I'm saying, Nemo? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like it's frequency is the biggest thing. And it is proven by scientists that even frequencies could kill certain cells. You hit the right one, you kill the cancer cells, you know.
I was mostly talking about like the clapping thing. They probably just did that for a like ominous type thing, like to make whoever like was doing like performing the clap or whatever like more like seem more powerful or something or
Nah, bro.
yeah.
Nah, bro. It would go from the ground up. It would go from the ground up. So the guy, I didn't think it goes from up down. So like, let's say an emperor or a king, it's at the top of that. It wouldn't go down up down. It would go down up because it's making pressure going up to the top. You know. It's crazy. It's like a whistle. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes to the top.
Yeah, but it's just that this like at the early times I kind of think like rulers would try to do things to seem like they had powers so people would like fall in line with them.
But how would they make that? How would they know how to make that? Like they would have to have architects like plan it out, you know? Like
Yeah.
how long would a civilization need to know to design a certain thing they could trap sound or compress it along a path, you know what I'm saying? It's air. It's not like you're controlling water to go down a river. You're
But
controlling
see, they may not
air,
have
bro.
understood it to like such an extent that we do. Like it may have just been like a really simple thing to them, and they may not have like understood the frequency or something. They may just like found out like, oh, if you build it like this, you can get this weird effect or whatever. Because they did this. I'm trying to think of like examples. Like the only thing I can think of is like there's this like cup that's like for greed or whatever. That like if you overfilled it, it would like pour out. And it's like if you didn't understand, like if you just gave that to someone and they overfilled it and it poured out, they'd be like they wouldn't understand why it poured out. And like only people who would like or only the people who made it would understand it, but they may not even understand like why it's happening. They may not understand the physics. They may have just like designed it, figuring out that oh, if you put a hole here, it'll like pour out if it gets too much pressure and pushes through or whatever.
So
Like
do you think they did trial and error to do something like that?
I think they like it's like the first person who discovered fire, like they hit a rock and they saw a spark and then it hit like some sort of like cloth or something and caught on fire and they're like, ooh.
Cloth
Yeah.
It's like
happened. Cloth happened after fire,
It
though.
just hit like grass.
we're
But guys, I think this is a good time to wrap up because we are
getting
very
really convoluted.
off track of what the original thing is. And as always, any concluding thoughts when it comes to religion? I'll let you guys go first.
I feel like we focus too much on Christianity, obviously, honestly, and I think it would have been cool to go into like maybe Hinduism or maybe even
I mean,
some of the
there,
Native American beliefs too.
Yeah,
yeah.
we would have to bring in
Definitely.
different people. that, their perspective?
There are questions that we didn't ask that we wouldn't need necessarily different people for. For example, a question that is on a little bit on my mind is something a little bit harder to talk about, but for when it comes to the religions, when it comes to a religion like being is or Islam, being a Muslim, do you feel like that fits in with Western culture? Because something that I constantly hear from people who are on the far right that I talk to, they just do not feel that Muslims will ever be able to be a part of Western culture, that they do not belong in Western culture. Uh, so I wanted to
Part
get you guys.
two or right now?
What?
You want to do a part two on this, or you want to do it right now? What do I think
We can
about
go
that?
right now and edit what we talked about a little bit, or the stuff that we just talked about. We can edit that out, but we can talk about this right now. How do you guys feel about Muslims in Western culture?
This is the land of the free, and there's not a lot of freedoms within the Muslim culture. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
You know what I'm like the thing is that you have people brought up with that culture that come over here, right? And they're gonna try to like influence that their upbringing and give it to their own kids as their upbringing. And they're gonna be surrounded, and unless they go to a pure Muslim school, they're gonna be surrounded by people with freedoms, and like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a culture shock. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I'm not saying they're not gonna be able to coexist. It's just it's gonna be hard, because then they're gonna have conversations with people of the different cultures. Like, why don't you wear this? And I'm like, cause I wasn't told I needed to wear this. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
I,
not like, it's a lot.
like I kind of get what you're saying, but to me that doesn't preclude the idea that one you said for me it's the fact that they can coexist. So that means if they can coexist, then there's no reason why they can't be in Western culture. And although this is and like you said, it's the land of the free. So doesn't that mean that they should be able to have their freedom while not abusing other people's as well? Like while not trying to infringe on other people's freedoms as well? Maybe I might be naive in thinking that that's something that they can do. It's a naive process or thought process a little bit, but doesn't because it's the land of the free, can't they also adhere to those rules that don't infringe on other people's freedoms while living in this and being able to practice their religion and everything?
I think.
Well, I I actually have a pretty good opinion about this stuff.
Are you talking about what I'm
Um,
thinking? Are you talking about what I'm thinking?
I have no clue, but so I think the problem I see, and maybe this is just like from my perspective, but I think like a lot of the problem we have right now is like we still have like the residual effects of like 9/11 and people like having that type of mentality that they're the enemy type thing, that they being the Muslims from the Middle East because that's where the attacks came from. We had, all the conflicts and stuff. And then there's like the fight with like Christianity, which most of Western culture is Christianity. But I personally feel a lot of the problem comes that Muslim culture has their own set of rules and laws, and a lot of those rules and laws don't jive or don't go with what we're trying to push right now in the U.S. particularly. I don't know too much about Europe with like the woke culture stuff and feminism and
So
stuff because in the Muslim culture, like women are supposed to like wear these things, and they have like a stereotype that's really on their women, and that goes against the feminism, I believe, and I feel like that's like some conflict too.
And I think that's such a hypocritical thought process that we are trying to attribute that type of thinking when it comes to Muslims, but then we don't do that type of thinking when it comes to making laws and banning things like abortion. So that's why I just think it's weird that whenever, because like what you said, I've heard people say it before, where it's like they don't even treat their women with respect and look at the way they do that, and it's like, but we don't even do that. You know, that's something that I always find really really funny. That always gets repeated, and the thing is, it's just like one another thing is to me is just for a lot of them, their women do get treated with respect. It's just like how like there's abusive Christians who beat their wives and everything else because she's supposed to she's supposed to be subservient to her husband, and that's the way Christianity works. Like,
From what I understand, it's part of their religion that men have the right to beat the women.
but that's also part of Christianity's religion
It,
too.
and that women can't even go outside alone without a male present.
I think that I don't know if that's specifically. You know what? I think what we have to do is we'd have to bring. We're gonna. I'm gonna find somebody who's a Muslim, and who practices in the state of Islam, and we're gonna bring them onto the show. I think that's a next step, for us.
And that's what I
So
said the
But
first time, boy.
let me ask you this though: are they going to be someone like an American who practices Islam, or are they going to actually be someone who migrated from the Middle East?
Like fresh out the box.
I don't know yet.
We'll see.
Because I would like to get the perspective of someone who is very closely tied to the way things are over there. Because I feel like, like we have like a lot of these things that we're just like told by the news media and stuff, and like by like they show it on TV or whatever and make jokes about it, but I don't know if it's like accurate portrayals or if it's like just over the top comedy that they just make it seem like it's so out of or so like archaic, I guess, to what we believe.
Because like when I think about what you said with, oh, they can't even leave their house, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they can. They just like I'm like 99% sure, but that 1% of doubt is making me not just dive in. But I'm pretty sure that they have the same ability to just go out and do stuff. Because like women who may not have a husband or a brother, what are they gonna do if they need to leave the house? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? So that's definitely why Brandon was right. Uh, Brandon, you are correct. We should bring somebody else in, uh, because that doesn't make sense, and I definitely feel like that's something that would be an interesting conversation to have around, because I definitely think that there's just a weird perception about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the other
They
thing I as a
they have
question.
like, from what I understand, they have religious police too in the Middle East that
Yeah,
are
that's
actually like enacting these
I
things.
was about like I get it. Like their country and their laws are way way different, but I was thinking more in the context of their religion and their beliefs inside of Western culture and whether it fits in. And I think that they can perfectly fit in. Like I think that there's this idea that they can't fit into Western culture, and that's completely wrong and false.
Well, well, I'm just saying from the religious perspective, but like I've met people from like the university who were from there or from like the Middle Eastern, or I don't know if they were like they had migrated or if they like lived here their whole life and their parents migrated, but like there's one girl that I knew at the university and there was like a point where she didn't wear her hijab, and so like I think some of them are kind of loosening some of the like that immigrate. They're like loosening maybe their standards some, or like because maybe they don't have the religious police here to like enforce certain rules, and it becomes more of like like with Christianity, like how like you follow, like you're not supposed to have sex until you're married and stuff like that, where that's kind of like you can still be Christian and not follow those rules, if that makes sense.
I think it's cultural pressure and its presence within the community. You know.
Well, that's the thing. The community here is more open, whereas if they're in the Middle East, like I said, they have religious beliefs, from what I understand.
Yeah, the Middle East, they're wacky with it. They do have like straight up police that
Uh,
shit like that.
Public shaming and even death as extreme.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I did look it up, and there's a quote: "A woman must not travel unless she is accompanied by Maran Ram,
Yeah.
and no man is to enter into her company unless she is accompanied by Maram." I'm sorry if I pronounced that
No, you're good.
incorrectly.
I looked it up and I saw something that says like they are allowed to go outside and do stuff alone. It says that they are allowed as long as they get permission from their husband to do so.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the Maram, like maybe I don't know what that
It's
is.
that one. That
Um,
one. I looked that up. What you're saying, Nemo, and it's the no. I looked up what you were saying, Ryan, and it's the one that's allowed to be wed, or they're wed, the one that they married.
So
or
like
maybe that
it's
they're like engaged to or something.
so essentially, but then like it's essentially the same thing that I'm saying, Ryan. It's just they have it's you're looking at a specific word. Yours is saying that they have to have permission from they have to be with their husband or whoever their boyfriend or whatever fiance is. Mine is saying that they have to get permission from their husband, but if they don't have a husband or anything, then they can do what they need to do. They just do it. They just go out. Nobody's gonna stop them.
Hmm.
But but if the husband says that she went out without permission, then it's trouble though. You know what I'm saying? Is
Yeah.
Nemo? Yeah. And if they don't wear that, if they, it's like very spiritual. The top the clothing they wear, the covering, the face covering, because I know that they can show their hair to the husband. I don't remember if they could show it to their family members, the hair, or her parents. I'm pretty sure she could, but if she has her hair out in public, that means like she's like basically it's like she's you know she's a loose woman, I guess. I'm not gonna say the other word, but that, you know what I mean.
She a hoe.
Yeah, there we go. And to them they gotta go.
Hoes
Yeah,
are not.
that's why they wear the hair hijab. That, yeah, they wear that. It's very sacred, that thing they wear, man. Like if they wear that in public, she's in trouble. Even if she's next to her dude, if she's not wearing that, she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
Well,
about.
I think it's required, right? By the or is it required by the religion? Like I said,
It
I don't
it
know
is.
too much.
It
Okay.
is. It
So
is. Especially over there. Over here, it's not gonna be as harsh, you know, unless they
yeah.
do it under wraps at a certain place where normal bystanders don't regularly go, and they do it there, you know, the cultural
Yeah.
way. And is that counted as murder? I don't know, but if it's a cultural thing, I guess it's. I don't know if it's bad. You know, I don't know. That's some gray area right there. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah,
Nemo, I guess to answer your question, I do believe it can happen. I believe it's happening
but that's gonna be
because, like I
bad.
said, I feel like they're like kind of integrating into like the society that we have. As like I stated, like I've seen one girl wear a hijab, and then like one day she didn't wear a hijab, and I actually like didn't recognize her without the hijab. And yeah,
My answer to your question, emo, coexisting is possible, but equality will never happen.
Equality will never happen? What does that even mean?
What I mean by that is not about jobs. I'm not talking about jobs
where'd
or
that even come from?
what I mean by that is like relationships, like dating, you know.
I don't even know what you mean.
Outside of
Okay,
your own culture, you know, that kind of thing. It'd be really tough unless they transition or change religions. But even then it's going to be
outside already hard.
huh?
Dating outside of your own culture is already hard to do. It's already hard even without like something like being a Muslim.
But it's
I
like
mean,
but it's
we talked about
it's
that when we met
extremist.
last time.
But it's like they're perceived as extremist, you know? Like you know what I'm saying? Like there's exceptions that families do based off of income. Like I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it.
But
Like
because
oh
of like the class systems that have existed in a lot of these different places.
yeah, bro.
The only place I know with a class system is India, and I
Yeah,
don't follow that well anymore.
but they were like a type of thing that existed for such a long time, is what I'm trying to say, and like the residual effects are still present. I was
That's
just kind of trying to go off of what Brandon was saying.
Like some religions legitimately put people in check. Like I'm not gonna like that. It's some are more, some are less. That's all. That's my takeaway from my experience and seeing how it goes down. You know.
well. I guess we can end it here. I don't have any concluding thoughts. If you guys do, feel free to share them.
I feel my
No,
concluding thoughts would be we learned something amongst ourselves and
I,
our insight of religion. You know that we might not have known.
I
And
didn't learn shit, bro.
huh?
I didn't learn shit, bro.
You didn't learn my perspective as much more on like religion and afterlife?
I was joking.
Oh my
I was
god, I swear. My boy, look at him. Anyways, yeah, man, like it's like it's tough. Is faith good enough? You know? Do we need proof? Is how one lives enough proof? I don't know. I just it was good. My big concluding thought is it goes way back to what's been recorded, you know, religion and all that, and having like it's all up to faith because we don't have it, you know, the beginning. We have a telescope in space that's showing us things that are go way further back than what we thought time was, you know. You know what I'm talking about, you guys? You know what I'm talking about?
I mean the Vatican already released that aliens can be Christian too.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm confused by their messaging there. That doesn't make sense to me.
Aliens being Christian?
Yeah. Also, wouldn't aliens just immediately destroy all of the thought of Christianity just being like a thing at all? Don't aliens just nullify Christianity as a concept?
Not really, because there's a lot
Um,
of UFO artwork in the back.
I mean
What?
they
Like, yeah, there's a lot of religious art that has UFOs in it.
yeah.
How old is the religious work that has UFOs in this? Because I've never what?
They were
The guy that did the Mona Lisa, I can't remember his name right now.
there's a UFO in the background of the Mona Lisa?
No,
No.
he
If you
did artwork. Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah.
there's what's I'm gonna tell you what it's called. Hidden Secrets, famous artworks. There's the. Let me see. Visit. Oh, and if you split the Mona Lisa in half and mirror it, it looks like an alien. They say. I've
Oh
seen
my!
it. Yeah,
That's
no, that too. No, but straight up. And
Mona
then
Lisa is supposed to be a guy. So.
No, it is not. Mona Lisa is definitely not a guy.
man, if we went back in time and asked what's the
They're saying that actually the Mona Lisa is Leonardo da Vinci. I've heard that too.
yeah, I've heard about that shit. I heard about that.
Know what it looks like? What? Why would that be Leonardo da Vinci
Do
when
we
we know what
have a real life photo of Leonardo da Vinci?
Because
we
he
know?
feminized himself
Do we have a real
into
life
it.
photo? Oh yeah, what Ryan's saying, yeah, he drew a feminine. He used a feminine filter on himself. He did it before Apple did. So,
he,
yeah,
he was
yeah, he did, bro. He drew the human anatomy that one time. I'm pretty sure he knows how to give himself a gender swap and draw it. You know, I'm pretty sure.
He was the original they them.
all right, guys. I guess we could call it here. Just ended on that note that Leonardo da Vinci and aliens do not invalidate religions.
Yeah. No, but Nima, I'm sending you pictures, bro. Like legit. On your Discord, straight up.
All right.
But yeah.
Brandon
Yeah, what's up?
found him, so some weird shit.
Got into an ARAM game and my Ezreal is garbage.
We're still streaming, right? So
Yeah,
next
we're
time
still
we're gonna talk.
streaming.
We're gonna do the personality test thing, right?
Oh shit. You gotta let us know about that. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm never shy from that. It better not be a troll personality test.
No, it's gonna be the official one that the INFJ or whatever stuff.
Ah,
The letter, the 4-letter personality test.
sure, I'm down.
Are we gonna do Do we want to do the test live or
Yeah, let's do the test
together?
live.
All right.
Alright, but for now, I guess this concludes the podcast. This has been mind-boggling with the homies. Me, Brandon.
Nemo.
And Ryomus.
Hope you have
And
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully we boggled your mind.
What? Hopefully, yeah, good one. Yeah, hope we boggled your mind and hope you have a good week till we see you next time. Personality test, maybe continuation of religion or something else we'll think about. Be safe now. Yeah.